What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Let's get right into it. Here to bring you a video today discussing the playoff potential of Dallas Cowboys, how things have changed the last couple of weeks, how I feel about them now. So let's talk about it. So the Dallas Cowboys played a close game with the Titans last night. The score didn't look that close, but at halftime it was a 4-point game against the depleted Titans. And I'm not gonna lie to you, the Cowboys were once in my Super Bowl contending tier. When I did my power ranking video, they are now out. I'm not gonna lie. I do not think they're a Super Bowl contender right now. The last couple weeks, the last 7, 8 weeks maybe, have really been like damning on my thoughts of the Cowboys. And first and foremost, I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm a Falcons fan. But the last 2 or 3 years, I made videos on it. Standing on it, saying I think the Cowboys are an NFC title or a Super Bowl contending type team. The last 2 years, as we know, Dak got hurt last year, so that was gone. But this year, I had high hopes for them, and the team is built pretty well. I know the injuries happened to Anthony Brown and Jordan Lewis a couple weeks ago, so that did kind of damage them some. But even since then, they took a big drop off. Of the last 6, 7 games, they've been allowing at least 300 plus yards on defense. That's not good. Clearly, that's not good. Parsons is playing well, not great as he was early to the season. I know injuries happen, getting banged up, stuff like that. But and also guys are getting banged up. Kyle Van Der Esch, list goes on. So, but also something I mentioned in my Week 15 Power Rankings video, and I'm gonna explain that video now before I get into it. So, first, the rankings is very simple. Only three tiers, and I use playoff teams only. I don't use all 32 teams. There's no point. It's late in the season. Let's get serious. So, the three tiers are Super Bowl miracles. Playoff teams I can see winning 1 or 2 games and they're out. If they get past that, then it's a miracle. So that would mean the AFC title game. Teams like the Seahawks, Giants, Commanders, the list goes on. Whoever's in that round, right? Go back and watch the video if you want to see. Next list, I have Super Bowl threats. Not quite contenders, but I wouldn't be surprised seeing them there. Dolphins, Bucks, Vikings. And then I have, back then, at Week 15, I only had 5 Super Bowl contending teams. 5. Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Bills, and Bengals in that order from first to last. So Eagles first, Bengals fifth. I had Cowboys third. I mentioned it in that video. The Cowboys could creep up and get and bounce ahead of the Chiefs if they keep on playing well. That was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe about 3 weeks ago now. Matter of fact, it wasn't week 15. It might have been week 14, week 13 maybe. And since then, since that video, they've been going downhill for me. The Eagles win was cool. I still don't think much of it. Great game to watch. I saw every second of it. Great game to watch. But all in all, they didn't have Hurts. They made a lot of uncharacteristic turnovers, so I'm not really concerned about that loss. But the one thing I said back in that video was, whatever week it was, week 13, week 14, 15, whatever week it was, I think it was 13 or 14 though, honestly. But I said one thing that could bring the Cowboys down, and it's been showing heavily lately, and that's Dak Prescott inconsistency and being non-clutch to a certain degree. He clutched up in the Eagles game. The last night game he played well, but he's been having too many turnovers. 11 games this year, 14 picks is a no-go. His second closest was 2017. He had 13 picks in a full 16 game season. So he came back from injury and just started throwing the ball all willy-nilly. And he's the biggest factor to me personally. And then the defense as well now because they aren't healthy and they aren't playing well. As I said, they're giving up at least 300 plus yards the last 6 weeks. The last 6 weeks, straight weeks, all consecutive weeks. So that's tough for me. A defense that was very good early in the season. Injuries start to happen, getting banged up, and they can't hold that same weight they did earlier. Kind of tough, but it happens. But the offense should be able to carry that weight. The offense is strong enough to outscore some of these guys and be balanced and stuff like that, but they're not doing that. Or not doing it on a consistent enough basis with Dak Prescott throwing the ball away, and all these turnovers and stuff like that. So, the turnovers are alarming. And I wanted to, and I said in the video too, whatever video it was, week 13, week 14, I forgot what week it was, but I did mention I wanted to bring the Cowboys down because Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott give me the same fear. And if I had the Vikings, who I admit are a lesser team, that's why I had the Cowboys up there. But the Vikings were like a team, and it was in order. So the Vikings were maybe like 2 spots away from being in the back end of the Super Bowl contending teams. Only team ahead of them in their tier was the Niners. Um, and I said during that video, might not do another video, power ranking video, unless something drastically changes. So I might this week after all these Sunday games are over, see all the injuries that happen, stuff like that. I might do another one for next week because things did change. The Cowboys are out of my top five. They're not a contender anymore to me personally. They're a Super Bowl threat. I wouldn't be surprised, but I'll be a little bit like, wow, they did get there. If they get there, if they get to Super Bowl, the AFC, NFC Championship game or Super Bowl, I will be a little surprised. I'm not gonna lie. Now, I think the Niners are in my top five now of contenders. The Bengals might drop too. I don't like them as much as I used to either. So we'll see where it goes. Give me another week. Give me another a couple days now. It's just Friday already, so give me a couple days. See these Sunday games, and then I'll make another power rankings video for the next upcoming week. But yeah, man, the Cowboys. People say they were riding high from that Eagles win, and they came out a little flat. That's cool. That was a minute ago. It's Thursday. Move on. They just didn't play well. That first half, and that's scary because when the playoff games happen, there's no room for error, at least not major error. And they were like, bro, they limped into the second half against a sorry Titans team. With Joshua Dobbs at quarterback, no Henry. Like, come on, yo. Like, come on. So it's tough for me, to root for the Cowboys in the playoffs. Like I said, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I like how they play. I like the team and their roster and their build. I think they can get it together and get things clicking. They can be a tough team to beat in the playoffs. Very, very tough, especially on offense, the powerhouse offense. You give Parsons enough defensive snaps, he might get you something. A sack, a script fumble, something. You give Trayvon Diggs more snaps. He'll make more mistakes, but he might make 1 or 2 plays that helps you win the game. A pick or two to help seal the game. So you give these guys more snaps on defense. These 2 young superstar players, you give more opportunities to make a big play, which they both can do respectively. Um, so yeah, man, it's tough, but I will move them out. If I do another list, which I probably will, I will move them out of my top five. They were at number 3. They were tight. They was close to the top. I even said the Chiefs are holding on for dear life or something like that for the number 2 spot. I thought that much of the Cowboys, and now I'm taking them off top my top teams, and the Bengals might go along with them. I'll see, but the Bengals might be going out with them, but the Cowboys are definitely moving out, no question about it. The defense is just not healthy enough to continue with some of these top teams and let the offense plays more consistently, which they haven't shown to be. Dak Prescott throwing the ball away 14 times in 11 games is a no-go. That's not good at all. It's not good at all. So we'll see what happens last few weeks of the season. Get Pollard back healthy, and if they lean on that run game, pound the ball out, play action, Schultz, Gallup, Washington, CeeDee Lamb, and do it that way, and for the defense just makes a couple plays here and there, then cool. Or just bend, don't break, cool. But I think it might be some shootouts. The way the play calling happens sometimes, it might be shootouts, and that can make some great plays, and that can make some bonehead crazy plays too. That'd be like, what did you see? So it is definitely up in the air. If you keep the ball in Dak's hands. So I think the goal for them is get Pollard healthy, let Zeke pound the ball out, Pollard pound the ball out. Quick, concise throws out the backfield to Pollard or to Zeke. Let them work, play action here and there. Take a shot here and there. Outside of that, just pound the ball out. And that don't happen, if that don't work, and the ball's in Dak's hands, you're hoping for greatness, but you might get some sorriness in there here and there as well. So, but that's it for the video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.